Hello, welcome to the first business video of 2022. I am very excited and glad that you tuned in. If this is your first time, my name is Hilda Gloria. I am an entrepreneur, and on this channel I share videos about entrepreneurship and fashion. Now, in today's video, I am going to be talking to you about 5 things that you need to know before starting a business in 2022. Number 1 is to know your why. Have goals. Why are you starting this business? What is the end? What is the goal? What is the main goal as to why you are starting this business? Now, this is not only going to help you draw a strategy or draw strategies to help you reach this goal, or it's not going to help you try and reach the goal or motivate you to reach the goal. It is going to motivate you, especially during days when you don't feel like going, or when you don't feel like working, or when you don't feel like running the business anymore, or when things are messy and you just feel like you want to give up. Now, having a why written down, I specify writing down your goals. Write down your goals and put a time frame to them, because if you have a goal that you want to achieve but you do not have a specific time, it is like daydreaming. If you dream about having a car but you are not working towards having a car, you will never have it. Or if you dream about starting a business but you never put in the work, you don't even do the research, you don't try to reach the goal, or you don't try to start the business, it is only going to be daydreaming or wishing. Now, the first thing that you do after you know your why is to write it down. For example, when I was starting my bags business, I wrote down why I was starting the business. Back then, I was a broke student and I just needed extra money. So I wrote down so that I can be able to pay my student bills. And at the end of the day, I needed to live. So having in mind that if I didn't work extra, or if I didn't put in that much work required for the bags business, I wouldn't be able to survive or pay my student bills. That kept me going all the time. It was my motivation even when I felt like things were not going in the right direction, or things were not moving forward, or I didn't see the future of the business. There are times when I just felt like I wanted to quit doing the business, but because I had it written down and I knew at the back of my mind that if I do not do this business, I am not going to be able to pay my bills. And how are you supposed to live without bills? I mean, write it down and put a time frame to it. So I thought I would run my business for the time that I was a student, which was only 2 years. I ended up extending it until now because it grew, and I realized that it was actually giving me an income which is more than just a student bill. So my idea was something like 1,000 euros student bills per month at the time, but it grew to give me even a bigger income that I started to rely on it. Even though I don't study anymore, I still gain money from it and I still do the business. So have a time frame. Say, for example, in 5 years I would like my business to give me this amount of money, and if it is in 5 years, what do I have to do to achieve this? Knowing your why to the very bare minimum detail really helps you. For example, if you start up a grocery store or a retail shop where you sell sugar, rice, soap, and you say, for example, at the end of 12 months or at the end of the year, I would like to have, let's say, 10,000 euros at the end of the year. So you divide that into 12 months and then divide it into 1 month, divide that into 1 week, divide that into 1 day. That is going to give you the motivation to know that per day I am targeting this, otherwise I cannot reach my main goal at the end of the year. So know your why and know your goals in figures and in time frames, and cut them down up to 1 day, and know that each day I must make this amount of money, or I should save this amount of money if I want to achieve the main goal at the end of the year. So having that in mind, of course you are forced to go out and work, because at the end of the day, if I do not put in the work, if I do not put in this extra hour, I am not getting this amount that I would like to achieve per day. And that is going to keep on, it is going to be like a source of motivation for you, in that even if you think of quitting, you think about this particular figure that, for example, if you want to expand the business in 2 years with the same amount of money, that shows you and reminds you you won't be able to do that if you do not work today, and if you don't work tomorrow and the day after. Number 2 is something that I ignored and I have just learned recently, is put your mental health first. Now, there is this saying of, oh, you have to hustle. People usually call businesses or small businesses side hustles. You have to hustle. That means that you have to really work hard, even if it is at the expense of your own health. That is completely wrong. Now, if you are about to start a business, please go in there knowing that your health is very, very important, especially your mental health. Now, when you are starting a business, you're going to have fails. You're going to have lots of times when you're going to fail. You're going to reach points when sometimes you don't even break even. Sometimes when all you're making are losses, when you don't feel the motivation to go and work anymore, when you are discouraged. And you can't pull all through this if you do not have, your mental health in the right place, or your mental conscious in the right place. I actually learned this way later on in life. Guys, there is no mental preparation. There's no, right amount of mental preparation that you can have when you're going in to start a business. It can be hard. Days can be long. Days can be hard. There can be losses. There are days that you wake up and everything is just a no, fail, loss, and you just feel like you can't do it anymore, that it takes a toll on your mental health. So it is very, very important to go into a business knowing that you have to put your mental health first. If things are not going as you like, or if things are not going the right way, if you feel like you are starting to lose it, seek mental help. Seek mental health. Mental health is usually underrated or ignored, but it's actually a very important aspect of everybody's life, and most especially businesses, because there can be lots of risks, especially when you are starting. I'm telling you, you're going to fail on certain days. You are going to fail and feel like you don't want to continue. You are going to experience losses. You are going to experience challenges from competitors, from suppliers. People will not deliver on time. Things that you have no control over are going to happen to you and to your business. You're going to be provoked so many times, and it will take a lot of mental support for you to stand and actually continue. So if you are just starting, be ready for this. If you can, seek out counseling. I learned this really later on in my business years. Last year I sought counseling because I was losing it. My business wasn't making any more money. I had trouble shipping, and it was nothing that I could do something about. It wasn't that I wasn't putting in the work. It's just that it was beyond me. It was, when something is beyond you, it was beyond me. There were no more flights to the destinations where my business clients were for the bags, and I couldn't ship on time, and that affected me. So I lost most of the clients, and they lost trust in me. Some of them thought I was just actually lying to them. Lots of delays, and of course, if there's any delay, that means you are missing out on the money. So I couldn't do anything about it, and I was losing it. So I went ahead and sought a mentor or a counselor, and this person, is actually important because, you find somebody that you just speak to about the problem. Sometimes we accumulate lots of problems and we have to deal with all of them ourselves. That if you could just have somebody just listen to you and listen to what you're going through, and just listen, even though they don't give you a solution, that can actually help. There is that somebody that you call and you offload all your problems to, and I don't know, they are just there as a shoulder for you to listen. And it's even a bonus if they are professional mental counselors, because they will guide you on how to navigate certain problems or situations in your life in a way that is going to positively impact your business. Sometimes it is personal issues. Let me tell you, if you are going through a personal problem or a personal challenge, you are not going to deliver in your business. If, for example, you are going through a breakup, you are not going to give your business its best. You are first of all going to have to deal with yourself, and then take energy to your business. And if you are having bitter or sad feelings, it is going to reflect in how you handle your business, or in how much effort and energy you put in there. So having this other person to help you first of all deal with your personal problems, and if they have knowledge of business, I don't know, issues as well, that would be a plus. Your mental health, like, I think should come even number one in every business. So when I sought counseling, I went through lots of challenges, but most of them were not even that bad. It's just that because they were affecting me, then of course they negatively affected the business. And when I was told, how to do things like meditate, how to surrender to situations that I can't handle, how to just let God, take the wheel, and I just sit in the passenger seat and, let him go and run the business on my behalf on days that I cannot. I mean, it has helped a lot. It has helped a lot, and I feel better mentally. I'm in a better mental space. So if you are starting, or if you are thinking to start a business, consider finding a counselor from the start. It is going to save you a lot of headaches. It is going to save you lots of sleepless nights. It is going to prepare you. I'm not saying problems will not come if you have a counselor, but he or she is going to prepare you on how to face these challenges as they come and how to react to them. Most of the times it is not the problem that affects us, it is how we react to the problem, because these problems will be there anyways. But I mean, seek mental health, seek counseling, take care of your mental health. It is very, very important. Number 3 is start preparing for your next steps. Now, for example, if you are starting, or if you are planning to start a business this year, 2022, you do not just think about it, because I mean, nothing works in the mind. You have to get up and put in the work. Start, for example, researching about the business that you'd like to start. For example, if you'd like to invest in a food company, for example, start researching about food companies. Have examples of companies that are already in the business. See how they run their businesses. Go to their social media pages, go to their websites and find out information. Find out how to register a company. For example, if you're starting to think about starting a company, how do I register a company? Because you cannot run a company that is not registered. How are you even going to make transactions if the company is not registered? So start thinking about your next steps. If I'm going to start a business in 2022, for example, in February, if I'm going to start a business now, I should be looking at how to open up a business legally, for example. Start thinking about the processes of the whole transaction, from when you get the goods from the supplier, if you are going to sell goods that you don't make yourself, how you get goods from the supplier, the entire supply chain, how they arrive to you, how you market them, how are you going to package them, how are they going to reach the customer, how are you going to receive payment. I mean, start thinking about the next steps of what you would like your business to look like, or your future business to look like. Another example, if you are already doing a business but then you would like to, for example, expand it. For example, I am selling bags, I sell them online. If I would like to for 2022 I would like to have a physical location wherever I choose in the world, my next steps would be to start looking into the rent costs. How much does it cost? Will I be able to handle it? Do I have enough rent to pay at least forward for 12 months? How is that going to affect the business? How is that going to bring in more sales? How will I break even if I have an extra fixed cost, that is rent, added to my expenses? Who is going to sit in that shop? How are we going to coordinate? How am I going to be able to manage that? These are next steps. So you have to think about the next steps that you want to take. If you want to be a millionaire, how do I work towards being a millionaire? Start reading about millionaire habits. What time do they put in? Do they put in just 2 hours a day? I don't think so. They put in extra work. So start thinking about those things and start preparing towards that. Start being that. If you are working on, let's say, personal development, you have mental health issues, start by seeking counseling. Start by checking out different counselors. Try to talk to different counselors so that you can choose the best one for you. I mean, look at the next steps that you would like to pursue in life and see where it takes you towards your goal. Number 4 is actually very important. I've also learned about it in my later years of work, and I actually put it on this year's resolutions, my business resolutions this year. It is to include rest in your schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, rest is very important. People will tell you that if you are working for yourself, you're going to work 1,000 times more, and you think it's a joke. It's more than true. But you have to consider yourself first, because if you work continuously without stop, or if you work without any rest, at a certain point you are going to break down. Trust me, you are going to break down. I have broken down so many times, and usually once you break down because of fatigue, it actually could bring health complications to you or mental health issues to you, and sometimes it takes you a longer time to come back. Yet if you had, scheduled rests in between, you would be able to work, and you would be able to bounce back easily. So I'll give you an example. When I started my business, the fashion blog, I started running 2 businesses at once, and if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I have a full-time job. Guys, how much work is there in creating content? Lots of work, lots of hours, lots of preparation, and at a certain point in time, I just realized that I wasn't giving my bags business that much effort that it needed. And then I realized that I wasn't giving the fashion blog that much time needed, and I didn't know what to do at that point. That at some point I just stayed stagnant, not working on both businesses for a full month, because I was confused. I hated it. I didn't want anything to do with wearing clothes, selling bags. I didn't want anything to do with looking at Facebook, looking at Instagram, marketing. I just didn't want any of that, because I was fed up. I broke down for a full month, and of course the more time you take out of your business, it is affected. It is affected, and of course your input is very, very important. Your business is affected, and usually to come back needs a lot of input again. So if you schedule, let's say every 6 months, take out 2 weeks to go and rest, it's healthy. You will find people there. Once you have your things organized, systems in place, your business will continue. I always sometimes confuse being busy with working hard. Now, this is something that took me a while to understand, because I used to feel guilty every single time that I rested as an entrepreneur. I used to think, oh, I would have used that time to take photos of the bags. I would have used that time to model the bags. I would have used those bags to just communicate with my previous clients to see if they're interested, or if they're happy with their purchases, just to get feedback. And then I realized that there is a big difference between being busy or keeping yourself busy and actually being productive. I will give you an example. As an entrepreneur, you have to market research. You have to keep looking for new customers or new ways to find customers. And I usually do that in the evening, like after 7 o'clock. I just sit down on my phone and go to pages that also sell bags, and I just look through their customers and their profiles, what kind of bags they're interested in, what their styles are, so that I can stock similar bags, and then reach out to them and let them know that I have similar bags if you'd like to buy. And at a certain point I did that, and I would fall asleep with the phone in my hands. So I would stay up till late, about until 11 p.m. But then at the end of the day, I have only looked at 2 profiles. Can you imagine looking at just 2 profiles in 4 hours? That is absolutely a waste of time. You can do that in just 5 minutes if you are awake and if you are alert. So once you feel tired, take the time off, rest, recharge, and come back and actually be more productive, so that you don't have to spend 8 hours doing a job that you would have done in 20 minutes. Last but not least is have options. Guys, there is tears, heartbreaks, frustration, ugly crying while you run a business. So before you start a business, please know that for everything, even a pen, have an option. I mean, you could go to a business meeting and your pen fails to write, so at least carry 2 pens. Have an option for everything. Shipping. I don't even know how many times I will stress this, because I think this is one of my biggest problems. But shipping from Italy has showed me, or has taught me, that I need to have my options put together. Now, if for example I always use the post office to ship my bags to their clients, I always make sure that I put in an inquiry with airlines as well, because just in case the post office doesn't deliver on time, or just in case it loses the bag, which has happened on several occasions, I am able to just satisfy my customer by using another option and getting their product to them in a short period of time. Now, having options really helps also in a way that if one option fails, you get another, and also it helps you compare which one is faster, which one is more effective, which one is, you know, cost friendly, because, you know, we are here to minimize costs and maximize profits. That is why we start a business, isn't it? So have your options ready. Suppliers, they're going to close down because of the pandemic or anything else. They're going to close down. They're going to be unreliable sometimes. You will need the grace of God for you to deal with one supplier, one everything. Have at least 2 to 3 options for everything. Suppliers, they're going to get sick. They're going to relocate because they've seen a location that has, you know, that has lower costs. I don't even know how many times I can stress this, but have different options. If you have a one Mr. Paul that supplies, for example, rice to your retail shop, make sure you find 3 other suppliers, because Mr. Paul will get more demand than the supply. He will get more orders than what he has, and if you have ordered very few bags from him, you are the one person that is going to cut out. And if you had all your hope in Mr. Paul, you are going to be very disappointed, because at the time when you are running out of stock and you call Mr. Paul, he'll tell you, I'm sorry, for this particular supply we do not have enough to cater for you as well. So diversify your options for everything, all the way from suppliers, shipping companies, paying options. I mean, if one paying option fails, your customer is able to pay for another one. It is basically being on tension, because you have to look out for so many options, but it is going to be worth it. You're going to cry less tears, you're going to be less disappointed. I mean, guys, even with clients, diversify, because sometimes clients buy, for example, I'm talking from experience with my bags business, they will buy a bag or they will order a bag, and then when it reaches them, they're like, oh sorry, this is not what I wanted, and then they send it back. But if you have different types of customers, you are more than happy to market it to somebody else or to a different group of people. So diversify, have a plan B for each and everything. I can't stress this enough, like plan B for each and everything. If you are meant to have a meeting in the morning at 10, make yourself available until, let's say, 2 p.m. because people are going to be late. People are going to cancel. There's going to be traffic jam. Just be open-minded and be a little bit more flexible and have options. That is it from me today. I hope these tips have really helped. If you are an entrepreneur and you have, you know, more tips, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what things you think that new entrepreneurs need to know, especially now in 2022. Once again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the red subscribe button down below. And yes, I am very excited, you know, to answer all your questions. If you are afraid to start a business, or if you are looking to start a business but you feel stuck, let me know in the comment section below. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.